I came home for Christmas. The house was silent, empty except for Grandma quietly eating leftovers. A note lay on the table. Spent your $8,500 loan on a family cruise. Take care of her. Grandma looked at me and said softly, "We'll fix this." I just nodded. 4 days later, they came begging. But I didn't answer the door. This was my parents' house, the one I'd practically paid for. I was supposed to be here for Christmas, like I always promised myself I would be. But when I pushed open the front door, the warmth I expected wasn't there. The tree was lit, sure, its cheap plastic star blinked apologetically, but the silence was thick. No laughter, no rustling wrapping paper, no smell of cinnamon or burnt cookies, just the faint clink of a fork on a plate. "Hello?" I called out cautiously. "In here, sweetheart," came a tired voice from the kitchen. I rounded the corner and saw her, Grandma, alone at the table in her purple knitted sweater, a plate of cold stuffing and half-eaten ham before her. I blinked. Where was everyone else? She didn't answer. Instead, she gave me a sad, toothless smile and slid a folded note across the table. Her hands trembled. I picked it up. Not even an envelope, just a torn piece of notebook paper. My name, scribbled in black pen. Spent your $8,500 loan on a family cruise. Sorry, take care of Grandma while we're gone. Love, Mom. I stared, didn't say a word. My brain froze on the words loan and cruise. That money was for my dental surgery, I'd saved for over a year. Grandma watched me carefully, like a soldier watching for mines. "I guess they didn't think you'd mind," she said softly, folding a napkin. "They left yesterday." I sat down hard. The chair felt colder than the room. "No warning, no call, just took the money and left you here?" I whispered. She gave a dry laugh. "Oh honey, they only call when they want something." I nodded slowly, fists clenched beneath the table. This wasn't new, just louder. Grandma took a sip of orange juice, looked me in the eyes, and said, "We'll fix this." I said nothing. Inside, something cracked. And something else, cold and sharp, started to grow. That night, Grandma went to bed early, said she was tired, said her hips couldn't take much more waiting. She kissed my cheek, patted my arm, and whispered, "You were always the only one who stayed kind." Then she shuffled away with her limp, the one she got after falling down the stairs 2 winters ago, the one nobody ever took her to rehab for. I sat alone for hours. No TV, no lights. Just that note. The loan. My money. $8,500 gone. I work nights, weekends, holidays. Driving Uber, freelancing, skipping meals, skipping sleep. $8,500. Gone. I opened the family group chat. Silence. No Merry Christmas. Scrolling up, the last message from Mom was from November. "Don't forget to transfer the loan to Dad's account. We need to book before prices jump." Loan. Never a gift. I remembered Mom's voice pitching it. "It's just a short-term loan. We'll pay you back by February. Latest, you can always reschedule your dental thing." I nodded. Because that's what I always did. When they needed money for Jacob's school fees, I nodded. For Dad's gambling debt, I nodded. For Kelly's rent after she quit her job because the boss was mean, I nodded. I always nodded. Because if I didn't, I was selfish. Unhelpful. Ungrateful. Family comes first. After all we've done for you. Done for me? They kicked me out at 17 because I refused to lie for Jacob after he stole Grandma's painkillers. They skipped my college graduation, busy helping Emily move in with her boyfriend. They forgot my birthday 3 years in a row. But when money came up, suddenly I was family again. By morning, I had answers. They weren't just on a cruise. They were on the majestic Aurora, a luxury ship sailing the Caribbean for 10 days. Suite deck. Private butler. Infinity pool. Gourmet meals. $3,000 each. 4 of them. I know because Emily posted a photo on Instagram. Forgot to block me. All 4, in bathrobes, clinking champagne glasses. Caption, "Finally, some peace away from all the leeches and negativity." Leeches. I laughed out loud. They used my money. Left Grandma with leftovers. Called me a leech. That snapped something inside me. I wasn't sad anymore. Not angry. Focused. That evening, Grandma found me in the garage. I was hunched over Dad's old filing cabinet, surrounded by piles of bills and old records. She said nothing, just sat beside me, pulling out a faded notebook. "Let's start with 2016, she said. "That's when your mother took my pension login." By midnight, we had numbers. By morning, a plan. They rolled into the driveway like royalty. The same people who left Grandma and me behind with a note and spoiled Kima now returned like heroes. Emily came first, dragging a designer suitcase, her hair braided with ribbons, nails freshly done. "Ugh, I'm so glad to be back. That last dinner on the ship gave me hives." Behind her, Mom swept in, sunglasses indoors, stepping over Grandma's shawl like trash. "Did you even clean up a little?" she sneered. Dad followed behind, red-faced and bloated from the cruise buffets. He grunted when he spotted me. "Oh, you're still here?" Jacob came in last. He didn't even look at Grandma, just dumped his bags on the couch and collapsed into it. I said nothing, sat at the table, hands folded. "Come. Ready? Where's the food?" Mom asked, scanning the kitchen like she owned the place. "In the fridge," I replied. "There's still plenty of the ham you left." Jacob chuckled. "Still eating that? Dude, just order takeout. It's not like you're broke." I stood slowly. "Glad you're all here. Sit down, I have something to show you." Jacob rolled his eyes but sank into a chair. Dad cracked his knuckles. Emily was too busy hunting for an outlet to charge her phone. I turned the laptop toward them and clicked play. The first video, a spreadsheet. Not just any spreadsheet, a detailed financial audit Grandma and I had spent 4 days building. Every dollar taken from her pension account. Every ATM withdrawal at gas stations Dad always used. Every Venmo payment Emily requested for emergencies, which turned out to be Sephora and Apple charges. "Where'd you get this?" Mom's voice tightened. "Her bank statements," I said. "Maybe be more careful using someone else's password." The second video, screenshots of Venmo transactions, account logins from Mom's devices, pension access matching Dad's betting habits, then emails. Mom to Emily, "He won't notice the cruise deposit missing. He trusts us too much." Emily replied, "He's a softie. Plus, who leaves Grandma alone on Christmas anyway?" My jaw clenched, but I pressed on. "I could stop here," I said, "but I won't." One last file, a voice recording. "Kelly, Jacob's wife, crying on our porch 2 nights ago. I didn't want to go, I begged him, but Jacob said if you didn't give the money, they'd just leave her and deal with it later. I stayed quiet because he said it'd blow over. I'm sorry, I couldn't take it anymore." Jacob sprang up. "You recorded my wife? That's illegal." "No," I said, "she asked me to. She was tired of lying for you, tired of watching you bleed people dry." Dad stood, face red with fury. "You little snake, digging through our accounts. Like someone done being robbed," I snapped. I opened one last tab, a pre-written email. Subject, formal report of elder financial abuse, evidence attached. Recipients, Social Security Fraud Division, Grandma's attorney, County Ombudsman, local news outlets. "You have 48 hours, I said evenly, "to return every penny, or I send this, all of it." Emily's hands shook. "You're bluffing, you'd ruin your own family." "No," I said, "you ruined yourselves, I'm just sending the bill." Grandma stood slowly, quiet the entire time. Now she walked to the table's head, rested her hand on a chair, and said, "I raised 3 of you, fed you, changed you, protected you, and when I couldn't walk, you left me with frozen beans and moldy pie while you sipped champagne on stolen money. You're lucky it's him coming after you, because if it were me alone." She trailed off. The room fell silent. The message was clear. Dad muttered something under his breath and stormed out. Emily cried, tried to hug Grandma, who turned away. Jacob just glared at me. "You're not family anymore." I smiled. "No, I'm finally free." They didn't believe I'd do it, thought I was bluffing. Even after I dropped the email, even after Grandma stared them down with quiet, ancient rage, they still thought they could break me. That version of me, the quiet one who nodded and paid and said thank you for crumbs, died the day they spent $8,500 of my savings on piña coladas and buffet lines. The first 24 hours were silent. No messages, no apologies. Just Grandma and me in that empty house, eating microwave oatmeal, checking the bank account, nothing. On day 2, I sent the email, every file, screenshot, recording, dated, attached, sent to authorities and news desks. At 6:13 p.m., a reply came, "Thank you for your submission, a case has been opened." On day 3, it exploded. Jacob panicked first. I woke to 12 missed calls and a flood of texts. "We didn't mean it like that. You're seriously going to destroy your family over money?" Then Mom's classic, "You're being emotional, please take it down, we'll talk." I didn't reply. Forwarded every message to my attorney Natalie. She read them coldly, like a surgeon. She'd been working with Grandma's legal advisor since I pressed record on Kelly's confession. By noon, Natalie sent letters of intent to sue to my parents, Jacob and Emily. Charges: elder financial abuse, unauthorized access to retirement accounts, misappropriation of family loans. Amount owed, with interest and damages $14,322.85. That night, Mom showed up. No makeup, hair pinned back messy, eyes tired. "Can we talk?" she asked, voice shaking. I crossed my arms. "Only if you brought a checkbook." She pulled a white envelope from her bag, a cashier's check for $8,500. "No interest?" I asked. "You're lucky to get this," she snapped. "We're being destroyed by this. You created it. You're turning your back on your mother." "No," I said, stepping outside and slamming the door. "I'm finally turning my back on a thief." Later that week, Emily called from her work phone, crying. The article was spreading. Family steals disabled grandmother's pension, abandons her at Christmas, grandson fights back. 42,000 shares overnight. Emily's firm wasn't happy. Her name was everywhere. Her leeches and negativity comment became a meme. "I'm getting fired," she screamed. "Do you know what you've done?" "Return the favor," I said. "Now pay your share." She did, in 4 installments. I made her send proof each time. No shortcuts. Jacob was last to fall. At first, he acted untouchable. "My boss doesn't care," he bragged online. "It's all fake." But then Kelly left him, filed for separation. She told me, "I'm sorry it took so long, but I see who he really is." I asked if she needed help finding a place. She paused, then said, "Only if it's without strings attached." I smiled. "Then yes, because you did the right thing." 2 days later, Jacob showed up at my door, unshaven, exhausted, furious. "You're a fool," he hissed, "you ruined everything." "No," I said, handing him a legal letter, "you did." Natalie had just filed a motion to garnish his wages. He tried to rip the paper in half and throw it back at me. I didn't flinch. "Pay every penny," I said, "or we freeze your accounts." I'm not bluffing, ask her. By the end of week 2, all the money was back. $8,500 from Mom and Dad, $3,100 from Emily, with interest, $2,700 from Jacob after a humiliating loan from his own boss. Total, $14,300 and change. I used $3,000 for my dental surgery. Another $2,000 bought Grandma a lift chair and a home nurse. The rest went into a locked, interest-bearing account in Grandma's name. Only she and I could access it. When I showed her the papers, she cried. "They took everything from me," she whispered. "But they didn't take you." Just like that, I'd won. Not just the money, not just the legal battle. I'd won myself back. The weight I'd carried for years, the guilt, the obligation, the quiet shame of feeling less loved, fell away like a bad coat. I stood taller than I had in years. They stopped calling. And you know what? For the first time, silence had a pulse. Not panic, not shame, but a clean, surgical silence, the kind that comes after you finally cut out something rotten. The money was back. The house was quiet. Grandma slept through the night, no longer waking afraid someone would steal her last shred of dignity. And me? I was becoming someone they couldn't control. In the weeks that followed, I didn't just collect money. I collected my life. I quit the job that drained me, took a remote contract that paid better and gave me my time back. I took Grandma to her favorite diner, dusty floors, checkerboard tiles, the worst coffee in the state. She laughed more in 1 hour than I'd seen in 5 years. I miss this, she said, dipping fries into her milkshake. You mean your arteries miss this? I teased. She shrugged. I'd rather die laughing with you than choking on cruise shrimp with those snakes. Fair enough. But even peace has its ghosts. They didn't call. But they talked. Oh, they talked. Emily posted on Facebook about forgiveness, with a candlelight church photo. Mom spread rumors, saying I'd manipulated Grandma, forgetting to mention she'd used Grandma's pension to pay for plastic surgery. Jacob? He went full delusional. Posted a reel about toxic siblings with audio from Succession, playing the victim heir to a ruined empire. Caption: some people would rather see you fall than rise with you. I laughed for 10 minutes straight. Rise with you? You tried to burn me alive and dance in the ashes. They tried to rewrite the story. But I had the receipts. And I wasn't going back into the shadows. The turning point came 3 weeks later. I was at the grocery store with Grandma, pushing her cart, soup cans, ginger ale, when a woman approached us. Older, elegant, familiar. I'm sorry, she said, looking at me. Are you the one from the article? I tensed. She smiled. The one who saved his grandmother? I blinked. I guess. She looked at Grandma, then back at me. I just wanted to say thank you for standing up, for not staying silent. My mother, they did the same to her, but no one fought for her. I wish someone had. She touched my arm briefly and walked away. I turned to Grandma. She was frozen, hand on a soup can, tears in her eyes. I didn't think anyone saw us, she whispered. They do now, I said. That's when I realized, this wasn't just about money, or revenge, or proving I wasn't a loser. This was about telling the truth out loud. And the best part? I was done explaining myself. I didn't need to scream anymore. The truth was out, dragging their names behind it like spilled garbage on the sidewalk. Every time they posted, people remembered. Every lie was met with reminders in the comments. Mom tried a YouTube cooking channel, Cozy Kitchen with Carla. First episode's top comment? Did you pay for that oven with stolen retirement funds? She deleted it 2 days later. Jacob tried to get a new job. Failed the background check. Garnishment orders scared the company off. Oops. Emily disappeared, then resurfaced as at m_Liferset on Instagram. Yoga pics, inspirational quotes. Claimed she was cutting out toxic people. Hilarious since I never cut her out. I exiled her. Months passed. I moved into a quiet, clean apartment, filled with secondhand furniture I chose myself. Nothing they picked. Nothing they touched. I brought Grandma with me. 1 bedroom for her, 1 for me. She decorated hers with old photos and a blanket she crocheted in 1993. She called it the fort. One evening, she knocked on my door. I have a question, she said, sitting slowly on the bed. When you saw that note, the one they left, why didn't you just leave? Why did you stay? I thought, then said, because I remembered who I was before they made me forget. She looked at me long and nodded. I'm proud of you, sweetheart. That broke me more than any insult they ever screamed, because she meant it. And no one else in that family ever did. Weeks later, I ran into Kelly outside a coffee shop. She looked healthier, happier. She told me she was taking night classes, working towards certification, building her own life. I didn't know I could live like this, she said, without fearing what he'd do next. You gave me that. I didn't know what to say. She stepped closer. You changed more than just your life. I nodded quietly. Maybe, for the first time, I believed it. So here it is. My ending. You want to know what happened to the family? They destroyed their own name trying to bury mine. You want to know what happened to me? I stopped waiting for them to call me family, and started building one with people who never made me beg for love. And now, I sleep peacefully with all the lights off, because I'm no longer afraid of what they'll take next. They already took everything. And I took it back.